Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of the show. Coming up in this week, we talk about possibly the best WWE pay-per-view in the last 30 years, maybe 10 years, I don't know. We break down some NFL picks. We talk college football games. That and news coming up. So sit back, grab some drink, get ready. The show starts now. Not my best intro, but that's okay.
Yeah, and everybody wants you to hit the subscribe button. And if you're on YouTube, hit that follow button on Twitch. We'll chop up the show and have replays on YouTube, and we are live on Twitch. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, and if you are subscribed, let us know. Get involved in the chat. We
Yeah,
see you. We
we
just
see you.
need to hear from you.
We do.
We don't want to cyber stalk you or
Tell
anything.
us how we're doing. All right. So let's kick it off.
So as I said, we can start it off the Clash at the Castle. Like I said, it's probably the best WWE presentation in the last 30 years. Premium live event.
Really? You think so?
I would say from top to bottom, probably yeah.
Okay.
Um, there's been some good pay-per-views, obviously, in the last 30 years, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying top to bottom, all the matches they made sense. They flowed well. There was shocking endings. Everybody wrestled pretty good matches.
Well, I can't say that there was any endings that shocked me. Um, I will say that I appreciated how it seemed to be wrestling from start to finish. Like there wasn't a whole lot of bullshit interjected into it. Like yeah, they had like the commercials and stuff, but that was few and far between. They didn't have like 20-minute promos or little shows like the Miz show or anything like that. It was wrestling. And I liked that.
As it should be on the pay-per-views. What was your match of the night?
Oh, easily Sheamus and Walter. Easily.
Same for me too. And I'm telling you, that right there, Sheamus and Walter, Gunta, as his new name is,
Yeah, I refuse
whatever
to
you
call
want to
him
call
Gunta.
him.
But this match, this fucking match. Okay, so like right off the bat, like when they did the Imperium did the intro, like I this is the first time I've seen a lot of these people. Like I haven't had the WWE / Peacock network for quite some time, so I just acquired it uh, for this pay per view. So I haven't seen like Walter since his NXT days, and um, I haven't seen the main event or the main roster package. Um,
uh,
but when the guy came out and announced him,
Ludwig Kaiser.
yeah, that fucking announcement, and then Sheamus had his boys, and then Walter had his boys, and then they were fighting, and then Walter and Sheamus were just standing still, staring at each other. I had goosebumps, and then they just proceeded to beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, and what I thought about this match was two things, or was one overarching story. This wasn't, modern day wrestling with
No, no,
all the gymnastics and no
nope.
selling and 300 super kicks and Canadian destroyers and all that.
Mm-mm.
This was two grown men slapping meat,
I think
and that's what we needed.
there was a couple suplexes. That's probably as wrestling as it got.
Yeah, this was just meat on meat. I'm gonna I'm gonna slap you. You're gonna slap me. We're gonna be bruised up.
Mm-hmm. And boy was
Very
Sheamus bruised up. He was all like you could see the blood vessels in his chest from all those chops. and there's a lot of stiff shots, man. The one thing I did notice though is the IC belt is the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, why would you, why, why would you go through an athletic contest just to win that piece of shit?
Well, that's the new title.
It's awful.
Um,
Whoever
there's
designed it should be
rumors.
fired.
There's rumors that Triple H is going to be changing some title designs, as we talked about. I
Yeah,
think that's going to be one that's going to get changed. I'd
it
like to
better
see
be.
it go. I mean, they kind of recently, like when Cody was there before, they recently did the whole white IC title,
Right,
but I'd like them just to go back to that old school look. It doesn't need to be white, but
right. Something other
I like
than
the.
that.
There was a yellow one that the Ultimate Warrior had.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one, but
Well, it was basically the same thing, just with a yellow strap.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I liked it, and you wouldn't need to go to that. That's just a random memory,
Right.
but I, I'd like them to go for like a more old school look with that title.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the title, this was Sheamus was going for his Grand Slam status, and unfortunately he fell short. I do like that there was a spot where Walter, it looked like he fucked up his power bomb, and Sheamus hurt his back, so then he immediately started working on the back. I thought that was great. I don't know, like, it looked like it was a botch, but at the same time, just how it was worked in the match, it could have easily been planned. I thought that was a really nice touch. Now, I will say that the one thing that really I enjoyed the match. It was the match of the night. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole thing, but I thought they talked too much. Like you could see Walter talking to the referee, relaying a spot to Sheamus, and then Sheamus was talking, and that kind of took me out of the match a little bit.
Oh, I mean that's just being safe right there. I don't
No,
mind that so much,
I
but
do. Come on, it's supposed to be an athletic contest. You could at least try.
like in the old school they would like cover their face or whatever, but
Yeah. Now they don't even care. Everybody's just, oh, that's okay. We'll show each other playing video games afterwards. He'll be on my Celtic Warrior workout channel.
he probably would be,
I know.
and it would be warranted because he's gotten himself in someone say the best shape of his life. I I think he was more menacing when he was
A little bigger.
bigger
Yeah.
because he still does his chops,
Right.
but when he was a bigger guy doing the chops,
Just
you're
look
like,
better.
golly,
Right.
you can
He was
just
a
imagine the
monster.
person's soul leaving their body when they got hit.
Right. Right. But yeah, that was easily the match of the evening for me.
I would agree with that. That was mine as well. And again, just the old school. We got All Out coming out tomorrow. The AEW's pay-per-view,
Isn't
and
NXT doing something tomorrow as well?
yeah, they got Worlds Collide tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, but as I was watching this match, I was just thinking, man, this is not gonna be an AEW. Like, this is like old school, and the crowd was into it. But
Well, the
in AEW, you're gonna get the flips and the gymnastics, which it's just a different style of wrestling that some
mm,
people like. People like their high flying
I don't mind the high flying. It's
stuff.
just when it looks like a dance routine. That's kind of like there was a match after Sheamus and Walter that I don't know. There was a sequence where it was just a dance routine. That's all it was. Like it didn't look. It didn't look like it was a contest. It didn't look like they were competing for anything. It just looked like they were going through a bunch of moves. It was a dance.
After that match, you must be talking about Riddle Matt Riddle,
No,
Seth Rollins.
this would be Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Balor and Damian Priest. The was it Judgment Day?
Yes.
Okay. So I had a few things. First of all, they need to get Rhea Ripley in that fucking tongue ring. She's walking around like the fucking third member of the Insane Clown Posse, just going, "Oh, I'm not. It's ma'am," and she does nothing. Dominic looked like a fucking irate lesbian. Like he looked more like a female than Shayna Baszler. Um,
With his mullet.
yeah, the female referee just was out of place. That was stupid. They shouldn't. Like, okay, think. Okay, if this were real, Edge and Rey Mysterio and Balor and Damian Priest, if shit pops off, how is that female referee not only going to restrain them and keep order in that ring, but going to protect herself? It's not going to happen. So I don't know, unless you have like Ronda Rousey or China refereeing. I think the chicks should stick to the chick matches.
Well,
But yeah,
I'm gonna
there's
be
a
honest with this match. You
yep.
watched it a lot closer than I did. You know, I needed to eat at some point. This was this was early in the day. It was at noon my time, so it's right around lunchtime.
hmm
I needed to go fix some food at some point. I picked this match to do it.
I got you. Well, there was one of the earlier exchanges between Mysterio and Balor. That's the one that looked like a dance routine. Like they just went through a series of moves, and it was just I don't know. It was all choreographed. It looked fake and phony. Um, there was a spot where Edge threw Mysterio out of the ring onto Priest and Balor, and then the two were outside just standing like idiots, waiting for Edge to awkwardly throw him out of the ring. I didn't like that. Um, Edge did the worst 619. First of all, I don't like the 619 as a move, but Edge did it and it looked awful. Um, they did the heel turn with Dominic um, after the match, but
I did
Dominic
catch that part.
Dominic just got manhandled by the Insane Clown Posse reject. So how can you take him seriously as a singles wrestler now?
Well, I think where they're going with that, and so post match,
Mm,
we should say Edge and Mysterio they win the match.
they did.
Um, Post match, they're all celebrating, and then out of nowhere, Dominic he kicks Edge in the nuts,
Kicks him in the nuts and clotheslines Ray.
and then yeah, him and Ray, his dad by the way, Rey Mysterio,
Mm.
they're Ray's like, what are you, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And then he clothesline. Um, it looked good as like as a turn. It looked good.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
the clothesline. It looked believable. The crowd went crazy for it.
Uh huh.
Um,
I
I think
just
they executed it well.
all I was
Um,
thinking is like 5 minutes or 5 seconds earlier, you just saw Dominic get his ass whooped by Juggalette Rhea Ripley, and I don't
well,
know.
that's been the running thing for the last couple of weeks on the show.
What,
She's been kicking his ass pretty
so
regularly,
so
choking him out, and
he's worthless.
so
He'll never be a title holder. He'll never be believable now. That's he's done.
well, what I kind of think of it is they can go one of two ways. Either one, he's going to be like her dom, if you will, and she's pretty much just going to be he's pretty much just going to be her bitch and help her win matches and whatever. That's one way. Or number two, she's going to be the muscle, like kind of Triple H to China was a Triple H kind of.
She doesn't. Okay. She doesn't even look close to China.
Oh, she's muscular.
Okay. She looks like
I
a
mean,
big
people
girl.
call her.
but I wouldn't say she's muscular. She ain't China. China was made out of stone.
You get on her Instagram and she's flexing
Okay.
her quads, the
I just
striations in her quads, her
okay.
back
I'll check
just
out her
popping.
Instagram. Maybe. Okay, I can admit that I'm probably wrong there, but I just know that she's not pleasant to look at. The fucking tongue ring. She doesn't add anything. And I will say that throughout the match, Edge and Ray were the bad guys. They were the ones cheating to win. Like Dominic interfered like right off the bat, and um, he tripped, I think, Damian Priest. So
Uh-huh.
they were the heels.
Yeah, they're the wily veterans. And again, I didn't really watch the match, so I'm gonna have to take your word for it on it.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, then it was really
it
cool
was
when
just
Edge came in on the dragon, and
one of those matches. Is like, I mean, I'm sure it's a good match, but I'm hungry.
yeah. Well, no, I
It has to
mean,
happen at some point,
it was a
and it didn't
match.
happen.
It wasn't a great
Yeah.
match. It wasn't like the best thing ever. I thought the outside people were distracting because, like I said, Dominic looked just like an angry lesbian, and Rhea Ripley looked like a fucking insane clown posse reject. And they kept showing her for some reason, and she was just yelling at the crowd. It's not like she was interacting with Edge or Ray. She was just doing her own thing. So I don't know. I didn't see it.
And you said they were pretty much the heels. Now they were in the UK, so yeah, Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, both international stars.
Oh,
So
are they? Okay.
that's probably why they were getting the pop. I mean, Damon Priest,
Well,
he's
they
Puerto
loved
Rican
Edge.
too, so
Edge got the bigger pop out of all of them. So they were
oh,
the
good
fans
for
were
him.
definitely on Ray and Edge's side. It's just they were working like the heels because they were cheating. Just a little note. Not that it matters today, but just in terms of wrestling, that
Um, we also had, if we're, by the way, we're not going in order, match to match. So, um, but the first match of the night, we had Bailey, Io Sky, her name now, Dakota Kai versus Bianca Belair, um, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka.
yep, didn't see it. I saw they said, "Oh, it's a six-woman tag match, or was it a tag match or a match? I can't. I just heard six women, and I went to do the other things.
It was, yeah, this is a 3-on-3 match, tag match. Um, it was an okay match. I mean, I don't want to be I don't want to be too critical of it, but
Mm.
it's an Alexa Bliss match, so it can
Yeah,
only be so good.
yeah.
And like there's a ceiling just off of that
She
fact
tries
alone.
so hard too. She's like, I don't know. She's like that person that sucks at it in every single way, but gives 110%.
Yeah, to me it's just like I don't know,
She's pretty.
she's taking her time on each move or something. It's like she doesn't want to mess up.
That's
But
all the women, except for the
in a sense
Japanese
it's
girls.
take
The Japanese
I mean
girls are fucking
yeah,
insane.
Asuka doesn't care. She's throwing
Uh-uh.
back fists.
Yeah, I saw
She's
Io, Io Sky, Shirai, whatever the fuck. She did a
Io Sky,
moonsault.
yeah.
That, I mean, it was a moonsault.
Yeah, they're those two ladies. They're just throwing it. They don't care.
Yeah. So I
And
might that might be the caveat. The Japanese women wrestlers might be the key.
the Joshi wrestling.
Uh huh.
Um, this match, Bianca Belair, she took the She
Took
took
the
the
L.
pin. Some
Mm.
people were upset at the champion getting pinned, but she did take all three women's finishing moves before she got pinned, so
Right. She
she
looks
looked
strong.
strong there.
Right.
Um, and it sets up something further because she does need a challenger for her title,
Mm-hmm.
so it sets up something there. I pinned you. I should get a title match. Yada yada. So
Right.
I think, and they didn't need to win also because they have the champion on their team.
Well,
You
that
got
was
this new
this.
group and they're
It was a 3-on-3
challengers.
match. Who
Yeah.
cares?
So I don't disagree with the outcome,
I don't care.
and that's where we started the start of the night.
I'll say that the
Um,
Japanese women looked awesome. That's the extent of it.
Match number two we went over. That was Sheamus versus Gunta
The easily the best
Imperium.
match of the night. It was
Yeah,
I enjoyed every second of that match from start to finish. Now it
Imperium
wasn't
reunited.
yeah it wasn't like the best thing ever in turn like the best match I've ever seen ever, but for tonight it was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, like, you know, 5 star, 7 star classic, but it. I just like that it was a throwback,
Yeah,
which made it so much better for me.
it was just two big
Um,
motherfuckers beating the piss out of each other, and it was awesome.
yeah, that's what wrestling should be.
Yeah, some of it. Yeah,
Um,
I like the Bret Hart Matt wrestling too.
well, yeah, there's that. But I'm just saying, not the gymnastics
Right, right, right.
stuff. It's good in places, but sometimes it just gets a little much. Like, oh, you're gonna see me turn in the air 37 times and
Right,
do a move, and then the person's gonna kick out of it. Like, come
right.
on. After that match, what? Let's see. We
It
got
was
the
Matt Riddle
Dom.
and Seth Rollins, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that was no. That was after the Edge
And
and
Rey
Rey Mysterio
Mysterio.
match. So yeah, we then move on to Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins.
All right. This fucking guy. I hate Matt Riddle. I hate everything about him. I hate the stupid snake that they showed. I hate his stupid short shorts, his fucking stupid scooter. I hate the gay fish. I hate the painted fingernails. Why can't he wear clothes?
The
Why can't he?
fish.
Yeah, there's little fish. They did little
Oh, when he kicks his shoes off.
yeah, they did a little CGI fish. Like the CGI shit was really distracting and unnecessary. But just with him, it was awful. I hate everything about him. And can't he wear like knee pads or socks or something? Why does he have to wear like the minimal amount of clothing? He might as well have just worn a dick sock.
Well, that's just how he's always.
Well, they need
That's
to
just
stop it. It's awful.
the even in NXT that was his
Yeah, I know.
attire.
But they need to stop
Um,
it. It's awful. He looks stupid.
I mean, his first of all, I don't. Why is his bulge so big? That's what I want to know.
Well, I wasn't looking at the bulge, but I
You
mean,
can't but help to. You can't help but not to notice it. It's like
um,
in your face there. It's like golly.
I just I just know
It's
he
like
was
he's
damn
got a
near
freaking
naked.
tennis ball in there.
He was about as close to being naked as you can get. He had the unnecessarily short shorts. Like he couldn't wear MMA shorts at least.
Well, again, that's just been his attire. That
That's awful.
I can see how you say that as a new person. I'm just been used to it because I've seen it
I hate everything
since he
about him.
started. Um,
I wish they
I
would
don't get the
drop.
painted nails either. I don't get what is with guys and painted nails. I just don't get that
Yeah,
whole thing. Like any, I get I can understand like if you're emo and you're painting your nails black, but there's so many guys now that just paint their nails. They don't even paint them black. They paint them like red.
Yeah,
His
it's
was
just
like purple and green.
it was all
I
sorts of
don't get
shit.
it. I don't get it.
And he's trying to look mad and stuff, and he's wiping his face, and you can just see these fingernails, and it's just no. He looked like a fruit cup. Um,
Yeah, I mean, do women compliment you on your nails?
Maybe.
Like, is that a thing for women? It's like, oh, I like his painted nails. Doesn't sound like something a woman's gonna say. And yes, he was married, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is a thing for him.
Which we will get to. And then Seth Rollins comes out. One, I wish they would drop the fucking freaking like the Seth freaking Rollins. Like, just why does he have to be the most annoying thing? Like, when he was the architect, he did the 30-minute promos to start Raw, and now it's just every time they talk, Seth freaking Rollins, just Seth Rollins. It's okay. And then he comes out looking like this fucking peacock, and it's to me, it's like he and Riddle when they were planning the match, like, you know what? Let's see who could be the biggest homo in our entrances.
Whoa. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course.
No, but
But
I mean, he's coming out like a peacock, and you got half naked or almost naked Riddle with his painted fingernails and
in the
fish
bulge,
and his bulge.
very
It's just
very
like right
important
off the
to
bat,
point that out.
that was super distracting. Like that set the tone. Like I knew that I knew it wasn't anything to be taken seriously.
Well,
And
I
I
think
go ahead.
I was just saying, I think because of where they are, England or UK. I don't know if they're in England, but they're definitely in the UK. Um, they're in Cardiff, Wales.
Uh,
So I took that as soon as I saw Seth Rollins. I took that as him doing like a I don't know a tribute to Elton John, who's the big. I mean, why not the Beatles? But
yeah.
that's here nor there.
Well, the Beatles would be four people. Elton John's one person.
I know, but one of the Beatles. I don't know. Oh no, is that one of them? I don't know the Beatles.
No.
I couldn't name you one Beatle.
Well,
Was
that's
Elton John in the Beatles? That's a
no.
serious question.
He was
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Just stop. Just stop.
Yeah, I couldn't name you one Beatle. Bono? Bono? Okay, I'll
Was
stop.
Jay-Z in NWA?
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
um. So this match, I mean, it was okay. I appreciate that the fact that no matter how many people Seth Rollins injures, he still does that stupid turnbuckle or that buckle bomb thing. So respect for that.
Well, they did outlaw that for a little bit, but yeah, he was able to bring it back.
Now with this match, the referee also distracted me here too. In fact, all of them did. Like when you're on the top rope, that's a high risk maneuver. Technically, well, both wrestlers are touching the ropes and shit or on the ropes. That's illegal. So the referee's job is to get them off the rope as soon as possible. This motherfucker is just this tiny little man is just standing there with his mouth open, just watching like a fan. Like
I did not catch that.
he's
I
not
didn't pay attention to
counting.
the ref.
Well, they all didn't do it. Like they're all taking their sweet ass time, getting awkwardly getting into their special little position so they can do their lame ass off the top rope move. And I mean, none of them like the payoff wasn't worth the wait. It was all awkward. It was all slow. But these referees, they're not trying to officiate. They're just watching and they have their stupid little faces and I will say that the I know I shit on her on the Edge and Rey Mysterio match, but she at least was trying. She was trying to be an authority figure. But my problem is if this were real and Edge and Rey Mysterio they were really fighting Balor and Damian Priest, that lady's not going to be able to control anything.
She's just gonna get hit, and the song's
She
gonna get canceled.
Yeah, I mean, she's not going to be able to officiate. She's not going to be able to defend herself. So that's. But this little tiny man's just fucking standing there like, oh, well, what they're doing, not doing anything. So that took me out of the match. He fucking sucked. He needs to be fired. Um, I liked there was a clothesline into a triangle spot. I thought that was nice. That was probably the best spot in the match. Um, I liked that. I laughed when Rollins was talking about how his wife left him and his kids are going to see how he's a loser. So Riddle's first response was to start slapping Rollins like a little girl.
As someone with painted nails would do.
As somebody with painted nails would do, and that's why he lost the match.
Yeah, and they played on that. The end of the match, they kind of played on Rollins. He insulted Riddle,
Yeah.
his family. That
Um,
pissed Riddle off, and then he lost control, and
yeah,
then Seth Rollins was able to take advantage of that.
Riddle's looking all mad and stuff, but then he's like wiping his face with his painted fingernails, and it's just it breaks the illusion. You can't unless you're Michael J. White, you can't have painted fingernails and be a badass. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't get the whole painted nails thing. If you, if someone in the comments wants to indulge us, let us know in the comments why that's a thing, and what is the thing behind the thing
Right.
of painted nails as a straight dude.
Um,
If you're, never mind.
did we talk about Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler?
Uh, no, that was next up.
Was that
I think
next?
it was
Okay.
next.
I thought that was before Reg and Ray.
Oh, oh well. We we're out of order. Whatever.
Yeah. So
It's
this
our first review.
yeah, this is the match that I started with. It's just for timing. Um, Shayna should have ripped Liv Morgan apart. I saw that she didn't. I saw really slow, half-assed kicks from Shayna Baszler. Everything was awkward. Nothing looked legit. I didn't watch it all.
Yeah, this is one of the matches to me. I knew it wasn't gonna be too good, just because Baszler, ex MMA fighter, when she was in NXT, she was a killer. It wasn't it wasn't believable that Liv Morgan could last more than 5 minutes with her.
Right. Liv
So
Morgan's this tiny little prom queen.
yeah, and her blue eyes. That's irrelevant, but
Which, yeah, Shayna Baszler looked more like a dude than fucking Dominic Mysterio. So yeah, she should have
oh
ripped Liv
well.
Morgan's head off.
Fun fact, just to let you know, might not be relevant, maybe, but she's dating Dakota Kai, who was in the first match of the night.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, I mean, I don't care who she fucks. I'm just.
Well, I'm just saying the couple was on the show.
Oh,
That's cool.
okay, whatever.
They got to travel together. You know,
Whatever.
they're probably scissored in the hotel room.
Before or after?
Both.
Okay. Okay.
You do a
That was
warm-up
such a
scissor
good
and then
match.
you...
Scissor, scissor.
Yeah.
Because that's the sound of scissoring. So yeah, I think Liv Morgan won. So yeah, if I would have watched all that just to see Liv Morgan beat Shayna Baszler, I would have been upset. I'm glad I missed it.
Yeah, again, it was one of the matches that just wasn't believable because of who it was versus who it was.
Right.
Like, so here's Liv Morgan. She's her two title defenses have been against Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, the two most legit women on the roster. It's just not a good thing for her. Like, I can
Right.
see, you know, Liv Morgan beating Alexa Bliss, not being believable,
Sure. Absolutely.
but you're putting her against like the two most legitimate women on the roster
Well,
to
for
start off.
Shayna Baszler's like twice her size too.
Yeah, I mean,
As
and they're both her, Baszler, and Rousey, both former MMA.
mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like
Well, it'd be
who's
one
next? You
thing.
gonna beat Asuka?
Well, it'd be one thing if like Liv Morgan could wrestle, but she can't. She she's just like any other woman wrestler, just not special.
Which is sad because she really loves it.
That's fine. I mean,
Like you would think, if you really love it, you'd be better at it, but you're not. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, there's people like NFL players who really love football that aren't good, but I can tell you that those same guys are probably up at 5 in the morning training to get better.
sure. And maybe she is. I mean, she just could. She might just be the Chase Daniels of WWE.
Well, he's still in the league,
Yeah, no,
so
that's what I'm saying.
he's doing something right.
Yeah.
Um, but we can move on. We go to I think the only match left was the main event.
Yeah. Well, I will say, just real quick, I like that they gave props to Adrian Street and Miss Linda. Adrian Street is a old school British wrestler. He really popularized the flamboyant character, at least for the UK. So I thought that was neat.
Oh, I didn't hear that. And if I did, I probably would
Yeah.
have heard it.
Well, you have to know who Adrian Street is too. So
Yeah. But moving on, we got our main event. The Tribal Chief, 700 and now like 40 days
yeah,
as champion.
2 years as champion. The day or yesterday, day before Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, more than 1,000 days since he's last been pinned.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion. Um, a lot of people, I was actually in the minority here, but a lot of people thought this was Roman Reigns going in to be dethroned as champion.
Everybody was saying that. Yeah.
And the whole time I'm thinking, so we have a 700-day run only to like this is what it was for Drew McIntyre? No, no, it wasn't.
Well, he is the chosen one. I mean, it was a good story. It was, I don't know how many world title opportunities Drew McIntyre's had in his WWE career. I can't imagine too many because he was playing air guitar at one point. So with
Yeah,
3MB,
that was
right? That was
before he
before
got
his
fired.
comeback. But and yeah, and
And
then
then
he
he
went to Impact and rebuilt himself. For some reason, WWE were watching Impact, but he did have a feud with Bobby Lashley that was pretty good. Um, But I mean, I've never been a Drew McIntyre fan. I think he looks better now. He looks bigger. He looks more menacing. I wish he would let that beard grow out instead of keeping it in the awkward phase. So
And
he
his
look.
mustache is too long too.
Yeah. That's kind of what
Like he needs to trim it.
like do something. Let it grow out, or yeah, trim it all. Don't whatever he's doing is it ain't right. I think McIntyre does unnecessary shit. There was a spine buster that he did to Roman Reigns, and then he did like this little flip thing instead of just going to the pin. Like, you're a big dude. You don't need to do that athletic shit.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, he used to roll that into like the Alabama Slam, but you know,
Yeah,
it was Roman Reigns. He wasn't about to power up Roman Reigns like that.
right.
So
Um,
he just went for a pin.
I don't like that Roman Reigns still does that fucking shotgun action with his Superman punch. Like, can't you not
Oh,
do that?
the jacking off his forearm.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? It was it was stupid when you were in the Shield. It's stupid now. Just stop it. Stop it. I wish he would have a different look too. He looks the same. Yeah, I mean he doesn't have that bulletproof vest on anymore, but he looks the same. I like his new entrance music though. I think that's a lot better than the Shield shit.
The dinner, dinner.
Yeah. The false finishes really really got to me. It was like, come on, because it started off as a good little brawl, as a good little contest, and then like it just turned into big move, big move, big move.
It turned into SmackDown 2011 when you loaded all
Yeah,
the finishers.
it was overbooked. You had that incident with Karrion Cross where he threw the water bottle that helped Roman Reigns get an advantage. Then you had the Theory Tyson Fury thing, and then you had the other Uso. I didn't catch his name.
Yeah,
I thought it was David Otunga, to be honest with you.
so the end of the match saw Solo Sikoa.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
his. Well, Drew McIntyre he hits a claymore. The ref goes for the count, 1, 2, and then he gets pulled out of the ring.
Yeah, they
And
had a
then the
fucking ref bump
camera,
too, which
yeah,
was predictable as all shit.
I didn't see it coming.
You didn't see
I
it
I
coming?
just thought no, I thought they were gonna go a different direction. I
Oh
thought he was
no.
just gonna, mouth off to the ref, turn around, get a claymore kick.
I saw that as soon as, especially when he grabbed him. Like, no, that was a rough bump. The only thing I thought though is Roman Reigns was going to get out of the way, and Charles Robinson was going to get the going to get the full thing.
Get his claymore, and then he's out the
Yeah,
rest of the match.
but
I always love that the refs, they get the smallest bumps and then they're gone forever.
I was going to say, unfortunately for him, he got the same equivalent of a claymore with Roman Reigns lightly bumping into him. But yeah, he was out forever, and then yeah, it was. I um, there was a moment where they were introducing Drew McIntyre, and it looked like Roman Reigns grabbed his crotch. I thought that was nice. It was like, oh, Scotland's own. And it looked like he grabbed. I don't know if he was scratching or if he was grabbing his crotch. I thought it was funny. Um, I thought that mid-match promo he did, where he's like, "Acknowledge me," and naturally he got laid out. That they need to stop that and never do that again. Does he do that often?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So not mid-match. Usually he'll do it like right after the introductions. He'll grab the mic and say acknowledge me. That's his thing. He'll city acknowledge me, and then that's just what he does.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So he did it mid match this time,
Okay.
and then yeah, it caused him to get some offense done against him. Um, Solo Sikoa gets called up from NXT for the interference. He joins seemingly the Bloodline, uh, which was funny because they recently did an interview with him, and he was saying he didn't want to. He wanted to go to NXT first because he didn't want to just be known as the Usos' little brother. So he's trying to distance himself from the whole bloodline thing.
Uh-huh. So he
And
gets called up as
now
the
he's a
Usos' little brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now Triple H took over. He's like, yeah, fuck that.
Right.
So he is in the bloodline. And they said it on TV. So the Usos' younger brother. So I mean, he's not that young. He's like 35, I believe. But no, he's 29.
Okay. Well, I mean, I I think that was the first time I've seen him. Like I said, I thought it was David Otunga. I said, why the fuck is it?
Why is he
Why is he
there?
still here? Let alone in this match. Especially they got rid of Bray Wyatt. And you have David
And they,
Otunga still. Come on. Um,
speaking of which, remember the guy who was in the Nexus who looked like Dave Batista?
yeah, Mason Ryan.
Yeah, it's just
I think he does
there's
like
nothing
Cirque du
more to that,
Soleil
but
now
you
or
know,
some shit.
yeah, there's nothing more to that. But I just wanted to point that out. He looked like Dave Batista. Um, Speaking of Nexus, your boy has made a return to wrestling. I found out.
Oh boy,
Feed me more, right back.
has he?
Yeah, he's in Control Your Narrative.
Of course he is.
So he has found a home
Oh man,
and Control Your Narrative. I don't, I don't know.
how do you get? He must have paid.
He's like, no, I'll pay you to let me in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how much longer that's going to be around, considering that one of the founders might be coming back to WWE. Well, is coming back to WWE.
Oh, we'll get into that, but
Yeah.
it was
So,
also funny. Oh, well, I guess we can get into it now.
well, real quick,
That was your Clash at the Castle review.
what was your overall thoughts of the pay per view? You said it was one of the better
Um,
ones in the last 10 years.
yeah, I think it was one of
Okay.
the better ones. I liked the pacing of it. It wasn't it wasn't rushed. I liked that they didn't have a lot of matches.
Right.
Um, like they let everything breathe. They let everybody tell their story.
See, well, that's a
All the
mixed bag too,
matches.
because like if you don't have a lot of matches, then you get like, you know, a card with Shayna Belzer and Liv Morgan and and Matt Riddle but then you can have too many matches where it's just like kind of like WrestleMania where it's like 6 days and by the main event you're just so burnt out.
Yeah, it was like, please,
Yeah.
like for comparison, and the whole show was like 3.5 hours, I believe. Maybe it was 3 hours. But in comparison, we have All Out today,
Yeah.
slated to be an 8-hour show, and there's 15 matches on the card. 15.
See, and I was as I was watching the pay per view, I was there. I just don't see how AEW could ever be in the same league as the WWE. Um, just in terms of presentation, like AEW looks very amateur and dirty and raw. Um, Everything about WWE is put together.
Well, I think there should be some grunginess to wrestling. Like it doesn't have to be so overproduced,
Sure.
like your CGI graphics and all that
Well,
shit.
they could. I mean, they could do without that, but just like the entrance, the Judgment Day's entrance, where they did the sky shit. Like that was the best thing visually of the evening. AEW would
Yeah,
never
you
think
guys,
of that. Tony Khan wouldn't fucking like they could have all the technology in the world. Tony Khan wouldn't think of that.
you're right.
So just little things like that. That's why WWE will always be um, at the top.
Well, that's what I was as I was watching that Sheamus and Gunta match. I was just thinking, this is this is the big league right here. I
Yeah,
don't know that match just put a lot of different things in perspective for me.
really.
But I'll still be watching AEW
Sure.
tomorrow.
I mean,
I'll still watch AEW on Wednesday, on Friday, reluctantly. Seems a little more like a chore on Friday, but
I wish AEW would have realistic pay-per-view prices.
yeah, they need to get they'll get a streaming service soon, hopefully. Um,
Because I
I
know
watch it,
I
you
paid
know.
$2 for Clash at the Castle, and I can tell you right now that that's better than AEW's pay-per-view, at least production-wise.
Yeah, it's that streaming service. Now, on the subject of streaming service, I do wish that they'd go back to the WWE network because this Peacock thing, I mean, like, you can't fast forward or
Yeah,
rewind.
that is annoying.
Um, you just have to let it play through, and then you can watch the replay when it's available.
Yeah,
Um, that was one of the things that I found out on like the first the first pay-per-view, and I didn't like it.
yeah.
Um, allegedly, they're supposed to be adding that at some point, but they said
Why
that two
wouldn't they
years
add it
ago.
now? I don't know why it wouldn't be a thing. Why is that something you have to add? What's the point of having a streaming service if you can't like pause it to take a piss or something?
Well, they're I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what the thought process behind that was.
there is none.
Because they have NFL games too.
I saw
You
that.
can't
Yeah,
pause those either.
yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe it's
yeah.
because it's live. They want it to be a live experience, so you just have to watch it live and that's it.
I don't know.
But
I
it'd
wonder
be
if you
nice
can with
to
the
be able to
premium stuff.
rewind.
Like if you get the premium service, I wonder if you can pause it.
No,
No. Okay.
yeah. When they first rolled the service out, I had the premium one.
Okay.
No rewind, no pausing. I'm like, what the hell? I can't rewind it because I came in late. Like when I'd watch it on the WWE Network, I would start it late a little bit so that I could fast forward through the bullshit. Um,
Yeah, that was my intention because I knew there was going to be the Alexa Bliss matches, so I wanted to have a buffer. That and I was expecting all the extra bullshit because they at least the past pay-per-views they had commercials where they were just like
yeah,
bootios
like
and shit.
Dolph Ziggler dressed up as the Colonel Sanders
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
super kicks.
And it's just what does this have to do with the pay-per-view? Nothing. So why are we watching it? I don't know. Sell chicken.
To pay the bills is the
I,
reason we're watching it.
I guess.
Oh, they had Shawn Michaels as the freaking Colonel Sanders one time too.
See, they need to stop that.
But yeah, there's some things that are either clean it up or get back to the WWE network.
Right.
I will say I do more and more. I'm more and more liking Peacock. I didn't at first because of that, but outside of wrestling, they have some good stuff. Like there's movies that will come to Peacock exclusively, like Halloween
Mm-hmm.
Kills. Um, Firestarter came to Peacock. Black Phone, which was a movie I really wanted to watch. So there's stuff like that where the movies would come straight to Peacock, and I would watch it and not have to go to the theater.
There's a show with Sylvester Stallone that's coming out in November that I'm excited to see.
On Peacock?
Yeah, that's. Oh wait, maybe it's Paramount. Never mind. Forgot I said that. Peacock has Yellowstone.
Never heard
It's a yeah, it's a Kevin Costner show. Saw some previews. It looks pretty interesting, but it looks like the premise is that Kevin Costner owns a bunch of land and outside forces are coming to steal it or buy it. So I don't know. I don't know how entertaining
but
that
they're
would be
getting it
for
one way or
multiple.
another.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like it's in the fourth or fifth season, and I don't know. To me that would be like a season storyline. I don't know how you could drag that premise off into multiple seasons, but they sounds like they did it.
So yeah, it's definitely getting better. I remember when Peacock first started, it was the whole payment structure was based off of The Office. Like, oh, if you want to watch past seasons of The Office, you can you can get the premium account and you can watch all the past seasons. But if you only want to watch the new episodes of The Office, you can get the standard account. Like that was their pay structure. Is like you want to watch only the new seasons or the previous seasons of The Office.
Well, that's just silly.
Well, they knew what people were getting it for. But then they got the WWE Network, and now they get it for another reason.
Right.
And again, you get the primetime Sunday night NFL games. You get those too.
Looks like you get
Um,
NHL games.
well,
I mean,
they can, and then and then also maybe you might be able to get the Notre Dame games on it too. We'll see about that.
I didn't see that. I didn't see any college football because I thought at least one of the two big games would be on there, or at least I was hoping, but not the case.
But yeah, that is our Clash at the Castle review.
Good stuff.
Um, how many? What was your overall rating?
Um, I'd say a solid B minus, C
Pretty
plus
good,
B
pretty
minus.
good.
The Sheamus and Walter match, like I said, was the only thing to watch on the show, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I would say we probably should be careful rating stuff,
Why?
because like Melty's rating,
Oh.
people start taking it serious. It's
Oh
like we're
yeah,
just making this shit up.
they'll definitely
Oh,
take
we
us
didn't get
seriously.
5 stars. We're gonna get 5 stars on that match. What a joke! It's like, bruh, I'm just making this up. Um, I guess we could talk about some of the news for the for for WWE.
All right.
Um, since we already kind of touched on some of it, as you said, rumor has it Braun Strowman is coming back to
He
the
is coming back.
WWE.
He's coming back to. He should be on the next Raw.
Yeah, and this is reported from I saw it from Fightful Select,
Mm-hmm.
so they're a pretty credible source. Bleacher Reports also reporting it. Now, funny thing about this is it wasn't. I don't know. It's been less than a month. Braun Strowman was on record saying, "Control your narrative is going to be around longer than AEW, specifically AEW." He said,
Right.
and now he's already jumping ship to back to WWE.
Yeah, and um, they're not quite sure how he's going to be taken either because he kind of shit on the independent wrestlers during the pandemic too.
Yeah, he has. He definitely shat on the independent wrestlers, talking about, "Oh, get a work in the big leagues."
Yeah, let me see.
It's not his
He
exact quote, but
well, he said uh, Uso, fuck, some guy. What the fuck was his name? Uno,
Evil Uno.
Evil Uno. He was encouraging people to support independent promotions. And keep in mind, this was during the pandemic, and John Moxley and Chris Jericho, they were already on record as donating some of their earnings to independent promotions just to keep the culture alive, right? So
Hmm.
Braun Strowman gets word of this, and his exact quote was, "Here we go with more of the somebody pay for my bills stuff. If you can't afford to pay your bills, maybe you should change professions. That's why I quit strongman. I loved it, but I couldn't afford to live, so instead of making a GoFundMe or a Patreon wanting someone else to take care of me, I went out and worked harder than I ever have in my life to get where I am. What happened to being accountable for your own actions?" And he also said, "And for anyone that goes, that's easy for you to say. You're a WWE superstar. Just an FYI, 7 years ago, I moved to Florida with everything I owned and a Kia Soul with $150 to my name when I started this." So that rubs some people the wrong way.
Of course, of course.
I mean, I get what he's saying, but I don't know if it's necessarily his place to. I think he should have just minded his own business there. But
Yeah, and independence is definitely the lifeblood, if people will say, of pro wrestling.
mhm.
So,
but his,
but I mean, Control Your Narrative, I would say, was an independent wrestling
oh,
promotion.
100%.
So he didn't have a problem with it then, and
No.
now he's leaving it. So,
Yes, he is. And
um, and
Ryback's just coming in. Him and EC3 started it. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like, Braun Strowman going if they take him seriously, it should open up some world title match possibilities. I don't know if he'll
right.
necessarily be the champion, but he'll be a monster for Roman Reigns to beat. Um,
Yeah, and there's definitely mixed emotions about him coming back.
yeah.
He's already been champion.
Hmm.
Um, I don't. I personally don't see what else there is that you can really do with him that we haven't seen. Like, um, you said he can be fed to Roman Reigns. We've already seen that. So, um, I don't know what else he could really do.
He could just be a monster that
What
just
more
beats the
story he
shit out
can
of
add.
people. I don't know.
Um,
It'll be interesting though.
yeah, he definitely has a good look though. So
He
there's that.
does.
Like, he's got that big, or he's got that bass in his voice, and he's
Hmm.
7 feet tall. He's cut up.
I liked when he came
So,
out with that black sheep mask when he was with the flock, not the flock, the Wyatt family.
yeah. But he's definitely on his way back. He should be back as of Monday.
Yeah, he's scheduled to be on the next Raw. So
A
we'll see what happens.
superstar who's not coming back, it would appear, is the Velveteen Dream.
This motherfucker.
He he was recently arrested over an out of county drug charge or something
He
like
was
that.
arrested.
Um,
He was arrested
AKA he got
twice.
Yeah, AKA he got pulled over for having weed in his car,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a prior warrant or something like that, so he got arrested.
Yep. Well, he had an out of county arrest warrant for the drug paraphernalia, and then he was also arrested for first degree battery and trespassing. The two arrests were 6 days apart. In fact, the first arrest happened August 20th. The second arrest happened August 26th. He has since paid bond for his release. And he also pled not guilty to the battery and trespassing charges. This was shortly after he was trying to make a bid to come back to the WWE. Now, we already have one NXT 2.0 star, Carmelo Hayes, whoever the fuck that is, intimating that he doesn't want anything to do with Velveteen Dream. Apparently, he was talking about how he doesn't have anything to do with Worlds Collide, so a fan suggested that Carmelo Hayes wrestle Velveteen Dream, and he said, hell nah.
So, Carmelo Hayes is the NXT North American champion, so they're pretty much NXT's version of the IC title.
Okay.
Um, and he wasn't off, or he was off the show, but he's since gotten an opponent. He's going to wrestle Ricochet
Okay.
in one of those gymnastic matches,
Yep.
I would say. It ain't going to be Walter versus Sheamus, I can tell you that.
No. Ricochet is
Um,
very, I don't know. He's like a video game. I don't think he's very
yeah,
interesting to watch. I liked him a little bit in Lucha Underground, but I think that was because that was um, the first I was seeing him. Kind of like when you see Rey Mysterio wrestle for the
yeah,
first time, it's really interesting. Um, but after like the 8th or 10th match, it's like, okay.
yeah, it's pretty much the same
Right.
thing at that point. Once you see one 450, you're pretty much good from there.
Right.
Um, but yeah, he's pretty much Velveteen Dream. We're talking pretty much just crushed his chances of going back to WWE.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. I don't know. It's just not a good look. He's got one. Well, one, he's gonna have to take care of this shit first. Um, but I mean, he was already released for not doing anything, and now he's done something. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just too much of a black cloud over him.
Yeah,
Like the allegations, you can move past that because again, they're allegations. Of course, as we said, the internet's gonna have their own opinion.
of course.
Oh, like for instance, I saw someone on Twitter. It's like, oh, I have sources that this was not that this was all this was true. It's like,
The
oh, so you're telling me. I commented on it too. I was like, so you're telling me the the police investigated, the WWE investigated. They both found nothing, but you
you
have
Bradley
information that this
Smith.
is yeah, but you have information that this is true.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you're better than both of them.
Well, according to eWrestlingNews.com, comicbook.com, and the Sportster, um, WWE found nothing. So
Yeah,
Bradley must have better sources.
yeah,
So,
but he's definitely thrown away his chances of the little chance. Because
mm,
again, yes, he had the allegations, but I would say as WWE, they were still going to be taking a big chance to bring him in if they did.
right. And you know what? I
Because, you
think
know,
even the drug thing, like if it was weed, I think he could have got past that too. But then you got the battery and trespassing. I don't know. It's not a good look.
It's almost like he did it so he didn't have to come back.
Maybe. I don't know. Do you see like independent promotions signing him?
Um, maybe because he is a name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Enzo Amore, he got signed,
Where did he get signed
and
to?
he's with MLW.
Is he really?
Hmm.
Wow. Consensual penis.
Yeah, so he had allegations against him too. So
Yeah, and they turned out to be bullshit.
yeah, so same thing,
His
but
was
he found
horrific though.
something.
Like the story, like Enzo apparently threw this lady around his hotel room, just raping her all through, all through the, or sorry, graping her all through the hotel room. It was horrific. And then yeah, it turns out to be bullshit. She made it all up.
Yeah,
Shocker.
because you can say anything and you know get someone in trouble,
Yeah.
but if it turns out to all be fake, you're just like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah.
You just delete your Twitter and that's it.
Well, you're still fired, but at least somebody says you're not guilty.
Yeah, and then you don't apologize either.
Right. Well,
You just have to talk about how it made you feel, and then you're off the hook.
well, fortunately, it was only Enzo. So,
Um, do we have any more? I was looking real quick, see if we have any more WWE news before we move on to the ever-changing. Oh, we got one more story for WWE that we could talk about.
okay.
So Triple H, he did a interview, sit down with Ariel Hawani.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard name to say. He did BT Sports.
Ariel
He's
Hawani.
promoting
Yeah.
Clash at the he's promoting Clash at the Castle, of course. But he did a good little sit down interview. He kind of addressed bringing Braun Strowman back. He kind of addressed bringing Bray Wyatt back.
Mm-hmm.
He addressed The Rock potentially coming at WrestleMania. He definitely confirmed that without confirming it.
Yeah.
Um, that The Rock's gonna come back at WrestleMania and wrestle Roman Reigns.
Uh,
But
uh,
but the story that I want to talk about from all this is his take on AEW.
okay.
So Hawani, he asked him. So the rumor going around in the wrestling community is that the reason NXT was buried the way that it was is because he was Triple H was put head to head against AEW to kill them before they get started,
Mm-hmm.
and AEW beat them in the ratings. And then Vince got mad that they couldn't beat AEW, so he punished Triple H by burying all the NXT people.
Well, he was doing that
That's
before AEW.
that's the story
Well, that's a
in
dumb
the
story
community.
because he was doing it. The community's stupid because he was doing that well before AEW. They
Well,
wanted
that's
to
here nor there.
they wanted to turn Neville into fucking Mighty Mouse. That was well before AEW.
Well, that's here nor there.
Oh yeah.
So Hawani asked him about it, and Triple H pretty much squashed it and said that's not true. But the headline grabber here is he says you beat our developmental. Good for you. And then he gives this little Triple H smirk. So he pretty much says AEW, they went like, good job, you beat our developmental brand. Now, that's the headline grabber there.
Hmm.
So that's false, first of all. Yes, they did beat developmental, but they weren't treating it as developmental when they were going against AEW. You have NXT, they're everywhere you go, they were touting it. This is the third brand. This is, you got Raw, you got SmackDown, you got NXT. They're all equal.
Right.
Um, NXT's even headlining Survivor Series with Raw and, Raw and SmackDown. You got Charlotte Flair winning the Royal Rumble and then going and challenging the NXT champion as opposed to the Raw or SmackDown champion. You know, they were all standing together and she picked the NXT champion. So they were not treating it as developmental at this time.
Uh, yeah, I think NXT, the name got a little bigger than what it was intended. I think the popularity made it the third brand versus uh, them actually trying to make it a third brand.
Yeah. So it's definitely, it's going to be one of the headlines that is definitely going to have a lot of people talking. Um, and what's up? What's up, guys in the chat? We see you. We are talking about some WWE news. You want to say what's up?
Oh, what's up, Chat? thought, I thought you were saying what's up for both of us.
Oh, no, it's the same.
Yeah.
We're talking some WWE news. Let us know in the chat if you watched Clash at the Castle.
Yep. Just uh, just got done talking about that as well. Feel free to rewind and hear our hot takes, expert analysis, and all that other bullshit.
But yeah, getting back, it was just funny that he said that oh, this is our developmental. They beat our developmental, and he gives his little Triple H smirk. And you probably know what I'm talking about when I
Yep,
say
I
that.
sure do.
His little,
That I don't know. That seems like a save face comment. I mean, clearly when NXT was going head to head with AEW, they thought NXT was going to smash them. Obviously, that didn't happen. Um, there's a lot of factors, but bottom line is NXT didn't get the job done. Um, I think Vince just saw that it wasn't doing as well as forecasted, and he wanted to put his fingers and totally revamp everything. Now, as far as punishing Triple H for it, I don't know.
well, he definitely squashed that. So
Yeah.
that rumor has been put to bed.
Well, I don't believe it.
You don't believe that was a rumor?
No, I don't believe. I don't believe Triple H entirely. I don't think he's telling 100% the truth there. Because NXT was there was nothing wrong with it in its current, and then they updated it to NXT 2.0 and ruined it.
Well, he went on to say in that interview, I don't know if the timing worked out. I have to go back and check the timeline on that, but he basically said, you know, NXT needed to change. The reason it needed to change is because of the pandemic. They weren't able to recruit because they would pull in the developmental, or I'm sorry, the guys from other companies or
Mm-hmm.
experienced wrestlers. They couldn't do that because of the pandemic. A lot of a lot of the independent promotions had to close up. So as a result, they then started the next in line program where they're pulling in other people, training them to be wrestlers. And he was stating that that needed to happen because of the pandemic.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Um, and again, I need to check the timeline on that because I don't know if that's totally true.
it's hard to say.
And it definitely doesn't explain why you turn it into a Nickelodeon program with all those colors.
Man, the colors. It's hard to focus.
Yeah, and you got the rap music playing in the show now,
yeah.
which
You can't have
which
PG rap music.
the song samples Still Tippin', which is funny.
I don't know what steel tipping is.
Oh, I'm not gonna sing it.
Oh,
The
I was hoping you would.
Swisher House, Mike Jones and Paul Wall,
Mike John.
Slim Thug.
I'm sure I know.
When you hear it, you would know it.
Okay.
You definitely have heard it enough
Okay.
because I've played it enough.
Sure. I was actually was it off the first round draft picks?
No, this was before then.
Okay.
No, it was on that album,
Okay.
but
Cuz
it came out before, and then when first round draft picks came out, they also put it on there.
yeah, well I was going to say I listened to that album recently. So, I'm sure I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you definitely know it. I know you know it.
Is it the if you don't
But
work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you
no.
No, no. Okay. All right. We'll stop.
Okay, Beatles. Is U2 part of the Beatles? No. But we can get on to some AEW news.
All right. Good shit.
Speaking of conferences, Tony Khan, he did a conference. It's about time you're gonna have to defend Tony Khan. That's why I brought this story up. You will defend him.
I will.
So yeah,
Okay.
because you're gonna have to.
Okay.
So Tony Khan, he did a press conference or a phone conference. I don't know what the official title on it is, but he did a conference promoting All Out,
Mm-hmm.
and on the conference he was asked about why Thunder Rosa had a
Oh.
had a 30-second backstage promo to relinquish the title,
Yeah.
as opposed to CM Punk getting 8 minutes in the ring to
Yeah. Yeah.
relinquish his title. And so what he said, now he said a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
He he went on to say that he found out about Thunder Rosa being injured like
A couple
um
hours before the
a
show went
couple
live,
yeah,
and
a couple
CM
hours before the show.
CM Punk's injury was well. It was known well in advance, so they had time to actually have a segment prepared for it. And yeah, you're right. You're right. Tony Khan's not
So
wrong.
so he should have stopped there, but he didn't. Because he also said, and if we're being honest, I give the TV time based on what I believe is going to draw the most ratings. And if you want me to be honest, on the 8 minute Thunder Rosa promo versus the 8 minute CM Punk promo, then you're going to get an honest answer. I think the 8 minute CM Punk promo is probably going to do a better rating.
Well, not probably.
So, translation, he's saying if you put if you put CM Punk in an 8 minute promo versus Thunder Rosa, CM Punk's gonna do a better rating. Therefore, that's why Thunder Rosa doesn't get the same amount of treatment as CM Punk.
Well, and let's keep this in context though. This was a well prepared CM Punk versus a spur of the moment Thunder Rosa. Um, I mean, automatically, if you're just putting the two, comparing the two promos, like there's no contest. CM Punk's a fucking black belt to her white belt. Um, but given the fact that they had time to actually think of something for CM Punk, then yeah, it was a no brainer.
Yeah, but the reason why you're gonna defend him is because what
I'm
have you
already
been
defending him,
preaching?
aren't
Yeah, but the main reason, the point
I?
that I'm want, the point that I'm wanting to get to, we'll just say it that way.
Okay.
What have you been singing since, I don't know, episode 1
Um,
about women's wrestling?
oh, it's awful.
And
It's
it
boring.
doesn't
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
draw.
draw.
Yeah. I mean, that's why there's no. That's why there hasn't been a 100% female promotion that's been taken seriously. I think Glow was the biggest one. It started off legitimate, but then it turned into a fucking circus act. I think Japan might be doing like an all-female promotion, but
Yeah, they have stardom.
the Japanese are crazy. So that might be the only like saving grace as far as female wrestling. But I mean, yeah, you put Thunder Rosa, you put anybody in terms of a 8 minute promo against CM Punk. I don't know too many dudes that are going to do better than him, let alone any of the women. And I fucking hate CM Punk now. This is not me sucking CM Punk's dick.
Yeah. Yeah, but of course you have the community because they like to get their pitchforks out.
Mm-hmm.
They're upset that Tony Khan's
He made a
said
business
this in his
decision.
yeah, that he is thinking about ratings and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But
Well, have you heard Thunder Rosa talk?
yeah, I
It's
mean,
not. I mean, it's not the most pleasant thing. She's great in the ring. I like watching her do her little moves and gyrations and shit. But um, she can't talk as well as Punk. It's just a fact. Now, if they were doing like Latino, if she was speaking in her native language or whatever, that obviously that would be a little different. But I don't know. I
I
think
mean, I don't even mind that. Like like Asuka cuts freaking full on Japanese promos. You don't even understand a word she's saying,
yeah.
but they still give her time to do it.
Oh man, I
I mean,
remember
she
when
doesn't.
Sheamus debuted and he used to fucking talk shit in Celtic. And he'd be like, "Oh, lawful, oh, you
Oh
inbred
yeah,
hicks don't speak. You, you inbred sons of bitches don't speak Celtic, do you? It means you all fucking suck." So, I mean, that can
yeah,
be useful if you do if you talk in a language that the audience doesn't understand, like you talk over their heads and stuff. Thunder Rosa could use that, but but going back to the story at hand, I mean, if you put the two together, yeah, Tony made the right choice.
yeah. So realistically, what he said isn't wrong. The problem people have is that he said it.
Well,
Like, whoa, why is he saying that about his women's champion? Uh, Now, one of the factors that no one's brought up is he is of I think he's of Muslim descent, isn't he? So the
I
Muslim
have no
people
idea.
don't treat their women as equals in any sense of the way. So there's
Oh
also
shit.
that to consider.
We're going there. All right.
And and it's not even a disrespectful thing.
um I
I'm
don't
just
know if
saying
he's I don't
it's
know
not
if
even
he's
a
Muslim or not, so I can't speak to that. Yeah, you're right. Traditionally, there's gender roles, to say it mildly, in the Muslim faith.
yeah, and it's not even a disrespectful thing. It's a cultural thing.
Right.
It's just what they, as a culture, that's what they do.
The
So
man's the head of the house, and he's the one that makes the decisions, and he's the one that leads, and everybody else follows you. I don't know if that would necessarily have any impact on how he conducts his business and who has promos, but um,
I think it, I think it plays a factor into it if he is Muslim.
okay.
Like you can clearly, you can clearly see he treats the women. He doesn't treat the women in his company as equal to the men.
Yeah, well, apparently the women's the AEW's women's division is awful compared to like WWE, NXT, and Impact.
Well, that's the thing.
Just in terms
So
of story and airtime, which is kind of
yeah,
interesting
that's
because
the
they're
thing.
supposed to be all inclusive and shit.
I know you got enough airtime for Sunny Kiss, but you don't have enough time
Oh,
for the women's wrestling.
yeah.
Fuck Sunny Kiss.
Fuck
There.
Sunny Kiss, yeah, that fucking thing.
I mean, this is what I say. I said Friday nights has become more of a chore to watch Rampage. You know they're pushing Sunny Kiss in a like serious role, like a prominent role on TV on Fridays.
On Rampage,
Yeah,
that's probably why the
it's
viewership's
really
down.
it's really hard to watch Rampage,
Yeah,
especially with stuff like that.
yeah,
Uh,
because according to the Wrestling Observer, AEW Rampage, the viewership is down for uh, 18 to 49 men in their demographic. It was ranked 22nd on cable charts as of the 26th. Audience is down 6.5%. Um, yeah, so I wonder if the Sunny Kiss thing is a factor to
I
that.
mean it doesn't help. I don't mean to single out Sunny Kiss,
No, Sunny
but at
Kiss
the
is a
same
fucking
time I do mean
abomination.
to. Well, I was saying I don't mean to single out Sunny Kiss, but at the same time I do mean to single out Sunny Kiss because that's the single. If I could like pinpoint a issue, there's the issue right there.
Mm. Now, I will say that Rampage is up 20% in the female demographic, ages 12 to 34, but
Oh, there you go.
they're down 40% for dudes in that same age group. So,
So if the demographics are falling, you got to throw one of those isms.
you gotta.
I don't know what ism or phobias. You got to throw one of the phobias.
Istophobes.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, the AEW Women's Division, like talent wise, it's as good as WWE's. It's as good as Impact's.
You think so?
It's up there. It's up there with the best in the world.
Who's
They
their
just don't
talent?
get the stories. They just don't get the um.
They have
Who's
Thunder
AEW's
Rosa.
talent?
Yeah, they have Thunder Rosa. Who else do they have?
You got Thunder Rosa. You got Athena. You got Serena Deeb.
Is Athena the other thing that doesn't want to
That's
be?
no.
Okay.
I don't, I don't even know what you're saying, but I'm just gonna say
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I can confidently say no, it's not.
Okay.
You got Jamie Hayter, and don't forget about her.
Well, all she
Sky
looks like is a pretty face.
Sky Blue, that's another up and coming asset
Mm,
of AEW. Tony Storm, like you got enough there to build a division.
okay, fair enough.
Um, I'm I'm missing a lot of people. Ty Mello, she's good.
Jade Cargill,
Um, Jade Cargill.
which apparently she's the best thing since sliced bread. I know, I know. Twitter loved the fact when that she was or is women's champion.
Well, and she's also undefeated too.
Of course she is.
So, her and Britt Baker are the two women that Tony Khan like believes in.
Yeah.
Everybody else just gets pushed to the side,
I
and
can see
it's
Jade
like,
Jade Cargill because she does look like an athlete. She does look like she can. She looks like a muscular Serena Williams to me.
yeah, like there was a um oh, I forgot what I was watching. Oh, it was the Jaguars preseason game, and Tony Khan was there,
Of course he was.
and he was there with Jade Cargill. Like
Okay.
she's rubbing elbows with the boss, so she's one of the more protected women. Britt Baker, she was with him at a NBA All Star game. I think it was All Star game, um, or maybe it was a soccer game. I don't know. It was some sporting event. He was sitting with Britt Baker. She's protected, but you got people like Thunder Rosa getting 30-second promos in the back and being said that they can't draw. And
Well, I don't think he didn't say that. Come on, he didn't say that she can't draw. He just said that at that particular time, the best option to go was with CM Punk's 8 minute promo versus Thunder Rosa doing an 8 minute promo on the fly.
well, they didn't get hurt at the same time. These were two different times, but
Right, but they found out about Thunder Rosa, like Thunder Rosa's injury. They had a couple hours to prepare for. CM Punk's injury, they had at least a week.
yeah.
So I mean, and Tony Khan's not talented enough to rewrite a fucking story like on the fly. He's not Vince McMahon.
That's true. Um, let's move on. So you talked about the Rampage. The Rampage. I don't even care about the ratings on Rampage anymore. They don't even take the show serious. Like
Well,
it's become.
I think it's important because it just kind of shows that the bloom on the AEW rose is starting to wilt a little bit.
Well, it is. It definitely is. Especially since Triple H took over.
Hmm.
AEW definitely, or I'm sorry, WWE definitely has the momentum.
Which is interesting because it's the same company. Like
Yeah, but
watching it tonight, I couldn't. If you would have told me Vince McMahon was still there, I would have believed you. Like, well, maybe the lack of the stupid commercials should have been a tip off, and the fact that there was wrestling throughout the night. But I mean, overall though, if there's not that much of a difference, at least now. Six
yeah,
months from now,
overall
who
there's
knows?
not. Overall there's not, but um, on a if you look at it under a magnifying glass, there's changes. Um, and again, we talked about it. Triple H didn't want to just come in and make a drastic change overnight because he has
Right,
shareholders to yada yada yada.
right.
Um, so he's gradually making these changes, and then I think over like 6 months to a year, that's when you'll like wake up and like, oh, this is completely different.
Sure.
Like for instance, like the show tonight, um, 7 matches on the card, 8 matches on the card, as opposed to getting everybody on the card just to get them on the card.
Yeah, you didn't have a superfluous battle royal.
Yeah, like every match had meaning, had story. Um, that's one of the little changes because like when I used to do takeovers, every match had a meaning, every match had a story. They
Right.
weren't just like matches to be matches.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I just, in terms of just the product in its totality, um, it didn't feel that different. But yeah,
Yeah, and
the
time
little
will tell.
things. Yeah.
Um, one one story about AEW. Now, to pull the curtain back a little bit, uh, we have a running document that we have these stories on. Yep, I pulled it back. All right. And if you notice on the document, I have a story on there about an AEW star requesting his release, but
Yep.
I didn't have any links,
You didn't, but I put a link
and
there.
I didn't have any quotes or anything
Actually,
because
actually, no, you had a
this
link.
did
You
I?
didn't have a link for the Thunder Rosa thing. That was the only link you didn't have.
Oh, damn it! Well, I'm gonna keep running with it.
Okay.
I,
We didn't have any
because the
links.
story,
Go ahead. Go
because the story
ahead.
isn't out by a credible source. Um, Depending on who you ask, it's either a real story or a fake story.
Mhm.
But the story is that Aleister Black, who in AEW is Malakai Black,
Very
has
original.
requested his release, and
It wasn't
Tony
granted.
Khan denied it.
Yeah. He's
Now,
the Kareem
again,
Hunt of AEW.
yeah, or Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo,
Right.
but that story is not confirmed.
Right.
Even the people who reported the story, they even said in the story, because like one guy who reported it, his name was Raj something.
Mhm.
He said Malachi Black is the person who was denied his release. He requested it, and then his by his own admission, he said, "I couldn't confirm this, but I posted it anyway because um, I couldn't hold off on the story any longer, or something like that,
Well,
or whatever that even means."
what's out there is Malachi Black has shown concerns about his mental health due to his personal life and demoralization due to breaking, or excuse me, due to I can't read my writing, due to booking and handling of his character, which that kind of sounds very pussified to me.
Yeah, and we don't know if
Yeah.
again, there's
So
no
far,
one
there's no
able to
public comment
confirm any of this.
from AEW or Black. There was a, Meltzer also kind of reported. Well, he didn't kind of report. He reported that WWE tried to reach out to a number of AEW talent to see if they were interested in jumping ship, um, which led to the cease and desist letter. He also said that one talent actually went so far as to ask for their release. So then, people are starting to put two and two together there.
Yeah, so they're guessing.
Yep.
No one can confirm anything. Uh, Gone are the days where you wait for confirmation before you put this out behind a paywall and
Yeah.
ask people to pay $5.99 a month for you to put out guesses
Sure.
and tweets from people. But that's another story. Don't hate the player, hate the game, of course.
Well, I think we can confirm at least somebody asked for the release. Whether or not it was Aleister Black, I guess we'll never know because he won't be released.
I don't even know if that part's true. Yeah,
I,
Meltzer says it, but you can't put a name on it. You can't confirm it. Like, that's just like the unnamed source.
yeah,
When you remember, like, NFL, oh, we heard from an unnamed source.
yeah.
Like, come on, put your name on it.
Heard
Put
from
a
an
name on it before you
unnamed
tell me about
source
it.
that people don't like Ben Roethlisberger because he smells like BO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Or all the
you
unnamed
can,
sources with Terrell Owens.
yeah, he had a lot too. But it's like, okay, you can't tell me who it is. You can't confirm that someone definitely asked for the release, yet you're still telling me it happened.
Well, he's
Like, I
saying,
don't know if I'm gonna believe that.
well, the way I read it is he confirmed that somebody definitely asked for their release. He just didn't confirm who it was or couldn't confirm who it was.
Because
So
he
I
didn't know.
right. So I mean, I can see somebody actually going so far as to ask for their release, especially if they're not happy. And I mean, apparently there's a lot of reason not to be happy with AEW. Um, so that I would say that that's true. Again, whether or not it was Malakai Black or Aleister Black or whatever the fuck he calls himself now, you know, who knows? It
Yeah.
could have been
Oh,
Christian
and by the
Cage.
way, he's on the card tomorrow too. So
Yeah,
there's that too.
but I
So,
mean, it could have been Christian Cage for all we know.
well, I'm just saying, you don't ask for your release and then get put on the card.
Well,
You ask for your release, you're done.
if you're asking for your release because you're not happy and your owner won't let you do it, then maybe I mean, they work to get you fit in somewhere. And it's not like
And
AEW has a very deep bench right now.
well, I think that's the problem with AEW. The overarching problem is that they have so many damn people on the
Hmm.
roster. They have, you know, I already said it a few weeks ago. They have like 100 plus people on the roster,
Right,
and they only have 3 hours of television
right.
for these 100 people. If we want to compare that, WWE, they have. Hold on, let me do this. They have. WWE, they have 7 hours of television,
Okay,
and they have. I think they have like 50, maybe 60
okay.
people on the roster. So you have 50 people for 7 hours of television versus 100 people for 3 hours of television.
Right.
Like that's that's where he got into his problem, signing so many damn people.
Yep.
Um,
For no reason. It's
and
like
I
you
know,
sign people just to have people.
yeah, and I know. Like last year, it was like, oh, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Yeah, he's signing a lot of people, but he hasn't proven that it's too much for him. Well, now it is. So
Yeah. Well, I
it's
think
not a hypocrite to say that now he has too many people.
Tony Khan's the biggest problem in AEW.
Oh, he's just getting punched in the mouth. How he bounces back, that's where you make your money.
Well,
Like
it's not even that. Like
at no
his
point is it always gonna go 100% your way. It's how you it's how you deal with it when it doesn't go your way.
well, it's not even that. It's just his overall attitude. Like he wants his on-screen character to constantly one up his wrestlers. Like remember when Stephanie McMahon would just slap like all the top guys for no reason, and they never got any
Yeah.
retribution. Like she would just emasculate him. That's basically what he does.
His
Um,
Wait a
what?
minute. He's only been on the screen like 4 times total.
Yeah, and he's every time he's on screen, he's trying to get himself over. He's trying to be a character instead of like trying to build his own characters.
I think you're blowing that out of proportion.
Okay, fair enough. I do know that behind the scene, well, I don't know personally, but according to Ringside News,
Okay.
there,
I
there's
forgot what we named that person.
there's reported tensions brewing behind the scenes because of Khan's management style. He's seen as unprofessional, and he's seen as worse than Vince McMahon. In fact, there is one high-ranking official that quit like right on the spot during a show, and Tony Khan had to run after him and promise that things would change, like a fucking abusive spouse.
And he
MJF
probably thought, why you gotta
MJF
make me do that?
MJF criticizes him for wanting to always be in the spotlight, and uh, even Eric Bischoff says it's a lack of leadership behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, I don't put too much stock into anything Eric Bischoff says.
What? Easy E?
Yeah,
What? You don't want us to put stock into what Easy E says? Hey, he was on top for 83 weeks.
he sure was.
I don't know. He didn't really do anything after those 83 weeks, but he was on top for 83 of them. He beat WWE.
I know, he built a whole brand off of that.
Yeah, and then
A
ruined
whole
it,
podcast.
and then ruined another brand, and then he did a
But
podcast. Yeah.
while we are talking about people who are um, upset, did you see the news? Now, it's a news story, but it's not really news because, and I'll tell you why. Um, so we have two top talents that were removed from the AEW Fight Forever video game, which looks just like No Mercy. Um, if you watch the gameplay, FTR, FTR, they got removed from the
Yeah,
game.
they sure did. Well, they didn't get
Um,
removed from the game. They were never they were in the process of doing their modeling, their 3D models for the game, but then they just kind of fell off. It's like the whoever's making the video games just kind of stopped talking to them,
yeah,
which is really
and
interesting because you like where the fuck is it? Like Cody Rhodes is still in the game, and
mhm.
he's not even there. And I think he, like his first promo, didn't he shit on WWE a little bit, or not WWE, AEW a little bit?
No,
Okay.
he didn't really mention.
Oh,
Actually,
according to the thing I read, it said he had some.
maybe in his like personal interview, which I didn't see. Um, but
Uh
like in his in-ring
huh.
interview, no, he wasn't able to. They didn't really acknowledge where he was before.
And it's worth noting that CM Punk and Jade Cargill, who were signed well after FTR, they were added in the game. Um,
Yeah. Also, the Big Show's in it.
the Big Show and Abaddon is in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're. I mean, they're the number one tag team in the company, and for them to
Yes.
be excluded, I mean, if you don't count the Briscoes,
Well, here's why I say that this is a non-story
okay,
because DLC. They're going to be added in a DLC. Probably it's going to be like a ROH DLC because they
mm,
are the ROH champion, tag team champions. It's probably going to be an ROH DLC that adds them and Cesaro and Samoa Joe, those likes because they're all champions right now.
Yeah, but what does it
That's
say?
why I believe it's.
What does it say when you have somebody that was added to the game before you that has been on TV for months, and then you go so far as to do modeling for the game, and you just quietly get scrapped? They don't even tell you that you're not in it. You just find out. I mean, I don't think
Well,
that's a way
no,
to.
well, they said that they um they knew that they weren't going to be in the game.
Okay.
Um, but then it was just like I don't know. The news broke much later. Like they knew beforehand that they weren't going to be in the game, and then the news broke
Oh.
much later. Um,
See, what I read was that they were going to be in the game, and then they started doing the model phase, and then at some point they were just dropped, and then they were upset because of course they're not going to get any video game money right away.
yeah.
Which, I mean, great if they're going to be added as a DLC. I mean, that takes care of it. But I think the point is you're treating your top guys as an afterthought. Like, who the fuck wants to wrestle as Big Show over FTR?
Well, I just think it's. I can see what you're saying, but I just think it's a DLC play.
Okay.
Like you got yeah, if you're gonna add DLC, you got to keep people or you got to have people in it that makes it enticing to want to buy the DLC.
Sure.
So you need big names in it.
Well, I think Cesaro is a big enough name for that alone. And
Mm,
if you have the Briscoes,
depends on how much you're charging for it.
it can't be. I mean, it's not gonna be. It's probably gonna be like $20. Okay, Cesaro might be not worth $20, but in my mind, for a DLC, Cesaro's worth it. I would I would have your best tag team on your fucking game,
At
and then
launch.
yeah, I would have your best wrestlers on the goddamn game because that's who people are gonna want to play as. They're not gonna want to play some fucking stupid baseball mini game and American Idol. They want to wrestle. And if you don't have the best wrestlers available, then what's the point? Especially when it's a fucking $60 game.
Well, only time will tell on that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a flop, but that's just me.
Oh, I know I'm buying it. Day one.
All right. Well, you'll have to let me know. I hope
Day
I'm wrong.
one,
I
I'm buying
mean,
that shit.
the more wrestling games there are, the better. Because wrestling games are fun.
Yeah, people were upset already. Well, I wouldn't say people, but the AEW versus WWE people specifically were upset because the game already won some kind of award. Sorry, not reward, award.
For what?
I was like, I don't know, they were at Games Con or something like that, and they won an award for best sports game. And it's like, how did this win an award and they're not even out yet?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, WWE is a much better sports game, is specifically a wrestling type category. But yeah, people were upset over that. I mean, people on the whole AEW versus WWE thing, like every little thing they compare.
Yeah. I can. I can see that. I mean, some stuff just isn't worth getting into a dick measuring contest over.
What it is for those people.
Sure.
Like everything that happens is, oh, we got to compare it. But as we get on out of here, as we're getting close to the end here,
You sure are.
let's do a little rundown of the upcoming NFL games.
Okay. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about I guess to do an even quicker rundown, um, some big NCAA games.
Oh yeah,
Oregon didn't even show up this week and
yeah.
got beat by Georgia.
Yep, you got
Um,
smashed.
Ohio, Ohio State beat Notre Dame,
They tried really hard to lose to Notre Dame, but they ended
but
up
they
pulling
ended
it
up
out.
winning.
Yep.
And Texas, they routed UL Monroe, the powerhouse UL Monroe, and Florida upset Utah, who was ranked number 7 in this AP preseason top 25, which is a sham.
It's a shame that Utah got upset.
No, the rankings is a sham.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you
Like,
got to start somewhere.
well, I think they put those rankings just for like to be able to sell the TV match.
Probably, yeah.
Because I mean, Oregon did not look like the 11th best team in the country,
No.
especially when they didn't even get off the bus.
Well, and keep in mind though that they did fly or they did travel from Oregon to Georgia, which I mean, there's time zone difference and um, it's the first game of the season. You don't have all it. It's not like there's preseason, like with the NFL. So you're kind of fixing shit as it comes along. So
Well, it just seems like they never woke up.
they sure didn't. No.
But let's get on out of here and
All right.
pick our NFL picks of the week.
All right. Let's go home. All right. So
Keep
right
going.
off the
I'm gonna.
bat.
I'm gonna do this the whole time, so you just keep going.
All right, right off the bat, we got Buffalo versus LA Rams. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with LA Rams. They're at home. They're defending Super Bowl champs. Um, I don't have the stat in front of me, but it's been a while since the defending champs have lost opening night,
Okay.
and I think that trend continues.
I got Buffalo. I think they're hungry. I think the Rams, especially Matthew Stafford, he's his elbow. I think that might be a factor. I think it's the first game of the season, and I just think Buffalo's going to be out to prove something this year. So that's what I'm picking.
All right.
Next up,
Next
we
game up.
we
Oh,
got
by the way, just real quick, we're not professionals. This is for
Oh yeah,
entertainment
yeah.
purposes only. As in no way are we telling you to bet your life savings on any of these games based off of what we say.
If you bet your life savings over two assholes on Twitch, then you deserve to go broke. So,
Hey, some people we just got to put the disclaimer out.
all right. Next we
Next
got
up, we have
Saints versus the Falcons.
I'm picking the Falcons
Oh, okay.
because they're at home.
Okay. I got the Saints because they don't have Marcus Mariota starting quarterback.
All right.
Next we have Browns versus Carolina.
Hmm. I gotta think a minute on this. Now you
Yep.
got Baker Mayfield in the news talking about he's gonna fuck them up
But then he said he
when he's
didn't.
talking.
But then they said they're going to use it anyway. So it's like he might as well have said it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with Carolina. No,
Okay.
sorry, I'm going with the Browns on this one.
Yeah, I have the Browns too. I think obviously the quarterback play is going to be huge, um, but ultimately the Browns have the better team.
Yeah,
So I think that's going to be the trump card. That and Carolina, I don't know. Carolina is just not a well-oiled machine right now. Prove me wrong.
absolutely.
Next up, we have 49ers versus Chicago.
I'm going with the 49ers.
Uh,
Again, they're my wild card team.
mhm.
If we go back to that tier list, um, but I think they win more than the Bears, and I think the Bears are in a rebuild.
Yeah.
They don't have a line that can protect Justin Fields,
They don't even have
and
Khalil Mack anymore.
yeah,
So
So
yeah,
I'm going San Francisco on that one.
yeah, I'm with you there. Next up, we got Cincy versus Pittsburgh.
I'm going with the runner up to the Super Bowl, Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think there's much to have to say about that.
Yep, same. We have the Eagles versus the Lions.
Again, not much to break down here. I'm going Eagles
Yeah.
because it's the Lions.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Lions do well, but I think the Eagles. Until the Lions prove me otherwise, I'm probably going to bet against them. Okay, next up we got the Colts versus the Texans.
Um, Much like the being the being the Lions, the Texans are the Texans.
Hmm.
Even though the running back does look good, still don't know who the hell they have as quarterback. So I'm
Oh, well,
going with
apparently the
Indian.
quarterback's really, really, really good. That's all I know.
Oh, I don't even know his name.
I don't either.
Anyway, we'll see. Um, but
But the
I'm going
Colts will win.
Indy.
Yeah. All right. So next we have Patriots versus the Dolphins.
And of course, I'm going Patriots on this one. Um, you have Tua and Tyreek Hill.
Hmm.
I don't think that's going to be enough. I think the Brown. I'm sorry. I think Miami will win some games this year, but um, it's being a divisional game. I think the Patriots. Bill Belichick has more time to prepare for the week one. I think the Patriots take it.
Yeah, I think. Well, one, the Dolphins have a new coaching staff. I think it might be a while for them to gel. I think Tua and Tyreek Hill's chemistry, if it ever happens, it might take a while for the in-game chemistry to work out. Now I know the Dolphins usually play New England pretty tough. New England isn't historically the best starting team when it comes to uh, winning right off the bat. They usually
Mm.
uh, they usually get punched in the mouth early and then figure it out as the season goes along. But I'm going to take New England here. Next up, we
All
have.
right, so the go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so next game, Baltimore versus the Jets, and I'm going Baltimore.
Of course, there's not really much to say about that.
A game with even less to say about. We got the Jaguars versus the Commanders,
Yeah. Who'd you pick?
and uh, uh, Washington.
That's what I picked too. I flipped a coin.
Yeah, that's really a coin toss kind
I
of
think
game right there.
I just think the coaching change. That's really my biggest deterrent or factor in picking Washington. Even though Washington has Carson Wentz.
Yeah, it's really a coin toss game.
Right.
But they also have what's his name, Chase,
Chase Daniel.
or is it Trey Young?
Oh, Chase
No,
Young.
Chase Young. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
They have him.
Oh.
Supposed to be a game changer there. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, some people say Washington's gonna win the division. They're crazy.
I've been hearing the Eagles,
Yeah.
which
Colin Cowherd picked Washington to
oh,
win the division.
well, Colin Cowherd's an idiot.
Yeah. Um, the New York Football Giants versus the Tennessee Titans. Um,
Who?
I think
Okay. Who's who's the New York Giants? That's not football.
they had a baseball team
Oh, did
a
they really?
long, long, long time ago.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Thanks for clearing that up. I
yeah,
picked the Titans.
I did too. Um, Not really much to say about that. I think it's
Right.
just one of those games that is just lopsided.
Yeah, Derrick Henry
Um,
will smash.
yeah. Now, here are some games that are going to be closer. We got Kansas City and Arizona.
I don't think that's going to be close. I think Kansas City's going to win.
I have Kansas City on that as well.
Um, Chargers versus Raiders.
I'm gonna say the Chargers.
Yeah, that's what I picked too.
The Raiders, yes, they have the best receiver in football. In the new Madden game, Devonta Adams is 99 overall.
Is he?
Yeah.
But he ain't 100.
So, well, they don't do hundreds.
Well,
They do 99.
that just means he sucks.
So, their offense is supposed to be amongst the best in football, but at home, I think the Chargers beat them. Um,
That we don't know if
Green Bay versus.
McDaniel's going to be a good coach. I mean,
Oh, well, there's that too.
his last body of work was with Denver, and we saw what happened. So until he proves otherwise, he's a loser.
I don't take coaching into it as much. It's like, yeah, I know coaching is a thing, but if you find the right fit, like if you find a Tom Brady and
Mm-hmm.
you're Bill Belichick, then, or even to a lesser extent, you just get a good quarterback and coach matchup, and then you find magic.
Well,
So
but
I
the
don't
key
take
is
much.
you gotta have a student of the game, so to speak, as quarterback. Like Tom Brady can, you can kind of leave him alone, and he's gonna study film, and he's gonna study tendencies and shit, and he's got that experience. Same with like Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning. Like they're just gonna be film rats. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know about Derek Carr. I'm not saying that he's not a film rat and stuff, but I don't know if he's as much of a student of the game or as an independent thinker in terms of getting better. He seems more of like I'm going to follow what the coach says. That's how we're going to do it.
That's true. Um, so we have Green Bay in Minnesota next,
Green Bay,
obviously.
obviously.
I'm going there too. The Sunday night game, Tampa Bay
Versus the
versus
Cowboys.
the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. I had Tampa Bay. I this kind of goes against all of my other picks because they've had a coaching change, they've had a bunch of personnel changes, but I think Mike McCarthy is such a clusterfuck that he's going to be the biggest detriment to the Cowboys season.
Um, I think, yeah, I think Tampa Bay will win this as well. Um, Obviously, it's no secret that I'm a Cowboys fan, but I don't think this is just one of those games that we don't win. As a matter of fact, Tom Brady's undefeated against the Cowboys.
Is he really?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
So, I don't think that changes.
Not an opening night, no. And the last game on Monday night, Monday is Denver versus Seattle. It's gonna be a
And
hard one to
for
pick.
that one, it's easily the Broncos for me.
Yeah.
Um, Seattle, their complete rebuild season.
Hmm.
Unfortunate for them and the fans.
Well,
They have a good fan base.
I thought you said that they had two quarterbacks that they can win with. They felt confident that they can win. Didn't you
I
say that
didn't say
last
that.
week?
They said that. There you go again. I didn't say it. They said it.
Oh, okay.
I was just telling you what they said.
Oh, okay.
Now, that doesn't mean I have to believe it. I'm just telling you what they said.
Because it's not true.
It's probably not, but I mean, it's definitely not. What am I saying? Probably. It's definitely not.
All right. So that's our
But
picks for this coming NFL schedule. We'll see. And
and again,
I will say that I took absolutely no account into my rankings. So
I did too. Like, yeah, that's too much to keep up with.
right.
Like, do the oh well, I had them winning this many games, so that means they gotta win this one.
But it sounds
Screw
like
that.
we picked aside from the Falcons and the Rams. Uh, Looks like we picked out the same teams. So we'll see how. Maybe we can do like a little record at the end of the season
Oh,
that we totally won't rip off from Mike and Mike.
we can. But now that means I have to like remember what I picked because I've already forgotten.
Well,
But
if
I'll go
only,
back and listen.
yeah, if only there was a way to record what we say.
Yeah, if only there were a way to hear it again.
Sadly, that
Yeah, I'll go back
technology
and
doesn't exist yet.
listen and see. Or right, we'll keep track.
We'll keep track.
But that's gonna do it for this week. If you like anything, let us know in the comments. If you hated anything, let us know in the comments. Hit the like button on your way out. If you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. And we will
Yep.
see you next week.
Be sure to catch us live on Twitch, 1 a.m. Eastern Time. That's when we do our live shows. We have the replays on YouTube. Those are usually out on the following Monday. And we'll also chop up the episode too. So our favorite segments, we'll make them available to you in nice little easy to digest videos. Yum
Yeah,
yum.
sack lunch, as it
Sack
says on the
lunch.
screen there.
Sack lunch, motherfucker. All right, everybody, have a good night, and we'll catch you next week.
Good night, everybody.